everyone, this is Jatin here, and it's been a while that we last connected. So I hope you guys are doing good in your life as well as in your career. Now, if you have been following me for some time, you know that I love sharing content related to automation testing, and I help students and professionals transition from manual to automation testing. Now, in today's session of Study with Me, we are going to understand another important interview question which was asked to one of our student from our SDET master program. This particular question is related to handling of your pop-up as well as calendar. The web application which was given for automation was Yatra.com. So we are supposed to automate Yatra.com calendar as well as pop-up. Now, these questions are very commonly asked during your SDET interview. So please make sure, guys, you study these solutions, whatever I have built over here, write the code along with me, and I promise you that once you complete this particular video, you will be a champion in handling pop-ups, in handling complex calendar, as well as understanding how to use XPath properly. All right. So I hope you guys are excited, and I really hope that this particular lecture helps you in mastering your automation concepts a little bit better. All right. So without wasting time, guys, let's get started. Welcome back to the class, guys, and I hope you guys are doing pretty good. Now, in today's class, we are going to solve a Selenium WebDriver coding assignment. Now, this particular lecture has been created in a way that one, you will be revisiting your Selenium WebDriver concepts. People who are not aware of Selenium WebDriver can still watch this particular lecture and prepare for the coding rounds quickly. And the second thing, guys, you're also going to understand how to automate a calendar in your Selenium WebDriver. Along with that, you are also going to revisit the concepts of collection, because in this particular assignment, I'm supposed to use collections. Now, the thing is, your interview preparation module has been created in a way that if you are preparing for interviews, if you just study these lectures, whatever I have kept over here, I am pretty sure you will be able to prepare for the interviews very, very fast. Now, there are two things. See, when you look at the Java module, it's pretty vast. Okay. When you look at Postman, that's also pretty vast. So all the modules that we have created, that is for study purpose. On regular basis, what you're supposed to study. But when you're giving interview, it's altogether a different ball game. Okay. So how to prepare for the interviews while saving loads of time? The answer is the interview preparation module. All right. So even when I'm going to use Selenium WebDriver, I don't expect you guys know your Selenium WebDriver concepts. Are you getting the point? But the thing is, with each lecture that you are solving in the interview preparation module, you are going to get two things. You're going to understand the concept and you're going to prepare for the interviews fast. That's the whole agenda of the interview prep module. All right. Now, this particular assignment, guys, we are going to solve it together. All right. So it might look a little bit lengthy, because there are two things I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to write the code and I'm also supposed to explain you. Then you guys are also going to write the code. So please make sure that you only watch this particular lecture when you have time to do it along with me. Are you getting the point? So probably give it like 1.5 hours or 2 hours time. Okay. It should be completed in that time. Okay. It can be completed before that also. But the thing is, you need to have that much time. Are you getting the point? So this is going to be a study with me, also preparing interviews with me. That's something that we will be doing together. Now, over here, this assignment, you're going to find it in the download section of this particular video. I want you guys to download this particular file and please read this assignment, okay, before I get started. All right. I'm giving you exactly 2 minutes. Okay. Download it from the download section. All right. I hope you have downloaded it. Now, I want you guys to go through the steps, okay, the instructions, okay, as well as the expected outcomes. What exactly the interviewer is asking us to do over here. All right. Take a moment, quickly do this thing. I hope everyone has gone through the entire assignment. Now, let me just explain you this particular assignment, guys. Observe over here. Our task over here, guys, is to automate the calendar handling and fare selection on Yatra.com. Now, the objective is pretty simple. Automate the selection of travel dates with the lowest fare using Selenium WebDriver and Java. So, I am assuming that we are supposed to go to Yatra.com. Okay, don't worry, we are going to go on that particular website in a moment. And over there, we are supposed to select the date, okay, for the flight which has the lowest price. Okay. So the instructions which has been given to us is use Selenium WebDriver in Java, which is obvious. And we are supposed to visit this particular website, Yatra.com. Launch the Yatra.com website. We can do that. Click on the departure date calendar using the default selected cities, whatever the cities are. Let's say Delhi to Mumbai. Find the date with the lowest fare in the current month. Okay, so there will be two calendars, okay, for the current month and for the next month. So over here, there will be dates which will be there, and in each of these dates, there will be price also. We are supposed to select the lowest price, okay, for that particular month. Are you getting the point? So for the current month, we are supposed to find the lowest fare. Even for the next month, we are supposed to find the lowest fare, and then we are supposed to find the lowest fare for both the month. All right. Current month and next month combined, what is the lowest fare? We are supposed to find that. Are you getting the point? First, we are supposed to find the lowest fare for the current month. Then we are supposed to find the lowest fare for the next month. Then whatever is the lowest fare for these two chaps, whatever is the lowest one, tell me that. Okay. This is something that we are supposed to do. Your program should open calendar, which is obvious. Identify the date with the lowest fare in the current month. Identify the date with the lowest fare in the next month. From all the visible dates, current and next, identify the lowest fare. All right. And the submission guideline over here is submit the GitHub repo link. So once this entire project has been created, we are supposed to push it into our GitHub repository. All right. This is something that we are supposed to do. Bonus, handle any pop-up or loading indicators using Selenium WebDriver wait. So if there is going to be any kind of a pop-up which is going to come into picture, it is our job to handle it. Now the thing over here, guys, is whatever the scenarios that are coming into picture, handling the pop-up, handling the calendar, selecting the lowest price and all, these are something that is going to happen in almost all our projects. Okay. If you are working on a web application, chances are there might be a calendar. Chances are you might have a random pop-up coming into picture. And our job is to handle it. Our job is to automate it. So in your interview also, they can sometimes ask the question, how do you handle a pop-up? How do you handle a calendar? Okay. The answer is going to be this lecture. All right. So we will be writing the code together. Now, what is the prerequisite for this particular class? You get yourself a tea or coffee first, because you are definitely going to need it. All right. The next thing is you are supposed to launch Eclipse. All right. And we will be writing the code in Eclipse. Are you getting this particular stuff, guys? So I'm giving you exactly 5-10 minutes. Okay. Get yourself tea, coffee. You pause this particular video, go to your kitchen, get your tea, coffee, anything, whatever you want. All right. And we want zero distraction. Okay. It's just going to be you and me. We will be writing the code together. We are going to understand the whole execution of this particular program, and then we are going to push this particular project into our respective GitHub repository. All right, perfect. So start doing it off. Pause this particular video, get yourself a tea or coffee. All right, guys, I hope you guys are ready with your tea and coffee. Now let's go to our Chrome browser. Okay, and I'm going to explain you how this particular scenario is going to look like. Let's close this particular chap. Let's save it off. Okay, and let me just quickly launch my Chrome browser. Let me just bring this guy over here, incognito, and let's go to yatra.com. All right, So over here, guys, this is the website, yatra.com. And what the assignment is all about is that I am supposed to click over on this departure date. Okay, today is 24th June 2025. Okay, you are going to see your respective dates over there. So I'm going to click over here. The moment I click on this particular stuff, I'm able to see two calendars. June 2025, the current month, and July 2025. Perfect. Now, there are some pricing which is written on each of the day. So, on 24th, we have the price 5,199. 25th, we have 5,199. 26th, same price. 27th, 5,377. 28th, 5,377. 26th, 5,641. And 30th, we have 5,199. Tell me the lowest price. Okay. So the dates which are available, which is the lowest price, you're going to say that, Jatin, it's so obvious. The price is 5,199. Whatever is there in the green color, they are the lowest price. All right. So in the month of June, okay, whenever you guys are watching this particular video or whatever is your calendar which you're able to see right now, the date, okay, which has the price in the green color is the lowest price. All right. Now, if I go to the month of July, the lowest price obviously is going to be 3,823 rupees. Are you getting the point? This is the lowest price. So, for the month of June, the lowest price is 5,199. This is what we are supposed to print. The next one is for the month of July, the lowest price is going to be 3,823. And combined June and July, which is cheaper, July 3,823. Are you getting the point? So, we should have three outputs. All right. First, for the month of June, I am supposed to give 5,199. For the month of July, I am going to give 3,823. And for the combined, it is going to be 3,823. This is what we are supposed to print. Are you getting the point? Now, how to approach this particular problem? The first thing, guys, is we're going to go to our Eclipse. All right. I have some files. Let me just close this particular chap quickly. And over here, guys, let's close this logic building module also. What I want you guys to do is, I want you guys to create a Maven-based project. Okay, we are doing everything from scratch. Okay, everything from scratch. Please don't use your existing project, whatever practice project you have created. Please don't do it over here. All right, I'm giving a straight away disclaimer. All right, we are going to create a project. And it is going to be a Maven based project. So I'm going to right click over here. All right. In the package explorer, I am going to go to the new option and I'm going to click on Maven project. So on your Maven project, you are going to click on create a simple project. This is the one you're supposed to click on. All right. Quickly launch, okay, this new Maven project option and click on create a new simple project. Do this thing off. I hope you have done it. All right. Can I go ahead? Now, the next thing that we are supposed to do, guys, is we're going to click on the next. And in the group ID and artifact ID, technically, you just give your project name. I'm going to call this as Yatra Calendar Automation. Copy this, paste it over here. And even in the name of this particular project, you write Yatra Calendar Automation. Yatra Calendar Automation for group ID, Yatra Calendar Automation from artifact ID, and the name is going to be, the name of this project is going to be Yatra Calendar Automation. And then you just click on finish. So over here, guys, you will notice that I have this Yatra Calendar Automation Maven project which has been created. And we have this particular project structure that we are getting. SRC main Java, SRC main resource, SRC test Java, test resource. The GRE system library over here is Java SE 1.8. Okay. And we are going to have pom.xml file. The first thing that I am going to do now, all right, is I'm going to update my GRE. It's not going to be 1.8. We are going to technically go for 11. So I'm going to right click over here on the GRE system library. I'm repeating it off. Right click on the GRE system library Okay, go to build path, click on configure build path. Okay, build path, configure build path. Then you are going to go to this GRE system library itself and you're going to click on edit. Okay, execution environment, which was 1.8, you're going to change it to Java SE 11. Click on finish. Okay, and the moment I click on apply, observe, it has changed to Java 11. Click on apply and close and we are done. All right, quickly do this thing at your end. I'm repeating it one more time. I'm going to take this particular lecture very slowly. All right, okay. You have ample amount of time. You really don't need to pause this particular video. Okay, so we are going to build this particular solution very slowly, so that once you have completed this particular assignment, you're super confident with a lot of your Selenium WebDriver concepts, understanding how to handle pop-ups, how to handle calendar and all right. Now again, to repeat this particular stuff, guys, GRE system library, you can right click over here, go to build path, click on configure build path. All right, whatever the GRE system library is, you click over here, you click on edit, and over here, execution environment, which was 1.8 for me, I've just changed it to Java SE 11. All right, I'm just going to click on cancel because it's already there with me. I hope you guys have done it at your end now. Now, the next thing is we want to have Selenium WebDriver dependency added into our project. So what we are going to do, guys, is we are going to go to the Chrome browser one more time, and we are going to go to what? Maven repository. All right, not the testng one. Okay, and we're going to search for Selenium WebDriver. So this is the one which I'm selecting right now, Selenium Java. All right, click over here and you are going to select the latest version, which is for me right now is 4.33. All right. By the time you're watching this particular video, you might have a different version. Take that particular version, or if you want to follow the same versions which I have used, just select 4.33 only. Better you do 4.33. All right, make sure your Java version is 11 and the Selenium WebDriver version that I'm using over here is 4.33. Select 4.33 only. Okay, copy this particular dependency from here. Come back to your Yatra calendar automation. Go to pom.xml file. And in this pom.xml file, guys, the first thing is we are going to add this particular dependency. Now, how to add it? You're going to put this greater than sign, okay? And you're going to say dependencies. Inside the dependencies, you are going to have your Selenium Java dependency. Now, observe carefully. This particular file right now is not saved because there is a star over here. All right. There is a star over here. Now, the moment I save this particular file, observe what happens over here. Look at the folder structure. The moment I click on save, just hold on for a moment. A new folder has popped up, which is Maven dependencies. If I'm going to click on this Maven dependencies, you are going to have your Selenium WebDriver dependencies added over here. Is this part clear to everyone? All right. So I hope you have understood what to do. You're supposed to add the Selenium WebDriver dependency in your project. So how I added it? I went to the pom.xml file. Now you guys are able to see this this cross over here. So some of you guys might be thinking there is some error, but it's not. Actually, there is some issue with my Eclipse. If I just close this particular stuff, it goes away. You see, it's not there now. All right. So if I'm going to click over here, you see I have added first the dependencies. One of the dependency that I have added is Selenium WebDriver. How did I get the Selenium WebDriver dependency? Pretty simple, right? You go to Maven repository website, you search for Selenium Java, Selenium WebDriver, whatever, and you are going to search for the version 4.33. Take this particular version, copy this particular dependency, come back to your Eclipse, go to the pom.xml file, add this particular dependency. Quickly do this thing at your end. All right, quickly do this thing at your end. I hope this particular stuff has been done by everyone. All right. Okay. Version is important, guys, because what happens is now, if you're watching this particular video right now, I'm using 4.33. You guys use some different version. There might come a scenario that your code is not going to work. Okay. Might. All right. So in order to be 100% sure that you and I, we both are writing the same code, make sure that the versions are correct. All right. Now, we are supposed to start building the solution. So let's close this particular pom.xml file. We are going to go to the src main Java. We are not supposed to build the framework. They just want us to automate the scenario. All right. We're supposed to take care of this yatra.com automation. So the first thing what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go to src main Java. We are not building the framework. I'm again repeating it off. I'm only going to write the Selenium WebDriver script. All right. So I'm going to go to the src main Java. Inside the src main Java, I'm going to quickly create a package. Let's call this particular package as com.yatra.automation. Quickly create a package inside your src main Java, com.yatra.automation. This is the package. Inside this particular package, you are going to create a class. Let's call this particular class as Yatra automation script. Hit enter. Done. And please make sure that inside this particular class, I need the main method. All right. So it's going to be your, like a basic Selenium WebDriver Java code popping up. All right. So you know what to do. Quickly do this. You're going to create a package called com.yatra.automation. Inside that particular package, you're going to create a class Yatra automation script. Observe my naming convention. This is important. All right. I want the Y to be in uppercase. I want the A to be in uppercase. I want the S to be in uppercase. I am very particular about the naming convention. All right. If I don't like the naming convention, I don't even review the code. All right. Because the thing is, these are the basic things, like every developer, anyone who is writing the code, the first thing, the first protocol that they are supposed to follow is that the naming convention should be correct. Are you getting the point? Perfect. I hope you have created this particular class. And I hope you have this particular main method. Now, over here, guys, the first thing, what we want, we are supposed to launch the browser. All right. We are supposed to launch the browser. Now, of course, you guys know this particular code. We are supposed to launch the Chrome browser. How do you launch a Chrome browser with the help of Selenium WebDriver? Okay. Now I'm hearing a lot of screaming happening here and there, which is WebDriver WD is equal to new Chrome driver. Yes or no? WebDriver WD is equal to new Chrome driver. Write it down. We're going to say WebDriver WD is equal to new Chrome driver. All right. Let's bring this chap. WebDriver WD is equal to new Chrome driver. Now, a lot of time, in interview, they ask the question, what is WebDriver? What is WebDriver? And everyone says that only WebDriver is an interface. 10 on 10 to you guys. What is Chrome driver? You're going to say Chrome driver is a class. Perfect. But if this is a class, okay, Chrome driver is a class, this whole new Chrome driver is you're technically creating an object, then why don't I write Chrome driver C equal to new Chrome driver? Why I am supposed to write WebDriver WD is equal to new Chrome driver? Okay. Now, this is something related to Java. It has nothing to do related to your Chrome driver, your Selenium WebDriver and all. Please understand this part. In Java, the object is always created of the child class. In Java, in your object-oriented programming, object should always be created of child class. All right. What is WD, my dear friends? Don't say this is an object. WD is not an object. WD is a reference variable. Object is always going to be created of child classes, whereas the reference variable is always going to be of parent entity. So over here, guys, WD, okay, is of WebDriver type. Now again, a lot of people are going to shout over here, Arey Jatin, WebDriver is an interface, how it can become a parent? Interfaces are the second category of the parent type. First is what? You have the normal classes. You have a class, let's say the child class, and child class is going to extend a normal class P. But generally, the parent classes are going to be abstract classes. There is a rule also for that. If you have studied Java with me, you know that particular stuff. That parent classes, okay, 99% of the time you're supposed to make it abstract. All right. So over here, guys, whenever we want to make the code loosely coupled, whenever we are supposed to make the code loosely coupled, your reference type should always be of parent entity, and the object should always be of the child class. Should always be of the child class. So WebDriver, which is my interface, is technically acting as a parent entity, okay? And the second thing is the object is getting created by the class, the final class, the child class, which is technically implementing this particular interface. What is the benefit of that? Okay, let's close this particular stuff. Let's save it. I'm going to click on the play button right now. Just observe carefully. I'm going to right click, run as Java application. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed for a moment. And you will notice that the browser got launched. Perfect. This is what? Chrome browser. Na? Let's close this tab. Now, let's say on this particular machine, I think so, I have the Edge. Okay, so I'm going to say Edge driver. I'm only changing the object type. I'm only changing the object type. So if I'm going to click on the play button, observe. So if this thing works, it should launch the Edge browser for me. So this is what you call as loose coupling. What do you call this? Loose coupling. Why you call it as loose coupling? Loose coupling is like, a Lego piece. Right now, let's assume that this is your WebDriver, all right? And technically, right now, I want that it should only focus on your Edge driver coming into picture. So I can just put this particular button over here. Loose coupling. I can remove something and I can put something else over here. So if your reference type is same, let's say WebDriver type, okay, you just are changing the object type. Are you getting the point? So over here, previously I was creating the object of Chrome browser. Now, if I just change it to Edge driver, it's gonna launch it for the Edge browser, and rest of the code remains the same. Rest all the code remains the same. So in this way, my maintenance is pretty low. All right. So the moral of the story, guys, which is very important and you guys need to know that, is that whenever you are creating an object, the object is always going to be created of the child class. Okay. And the reference is going to be of parent type. Another thing to remember over here, guys, is that WebDriver, even though it is an interface, it is of parent type. All right, interfaces also act as a parent. Remember this particular stuff? Is this part clear? Perfect. Quickly write this particular code at your end and observe if you are able to launch Chrome driver. WebDriver WD is equal to new Chrome driver. Let's click on the play button. Let's observe whether Chrome browser is getting launched. It's getting launched for me, so I'm pretty sure it should launch for you guys also. Now, guys, what's the next thing that we are supposed to do? The browser is getting launched for us. So if I'm going to click over here, I'm able to see this particular browser. What I'm supposed to do next? See, we are supposed to go to yatra.com, right? So I'm going to say wd.get. Okay, if you are supposed to visit a particular URL, all right, you're going to use this wd reference, wd.get, and you're going to pass the URL, all right? What is the URL of this particular website? Okay, simple. https://www.yatra.com. Save it. Save it. Let's click on play. Happens. So if you notice, I'm able to see this Yatra.com website getting launched on my Chrome browser. All right. Quickly do this particular stuff at your end. So whenever you want to launch the browser, you are going to say WebDriver WD is equal to new Chrome driver. WD.get is going to technically load the page, okay, for us. And technically, let's give it step 1 and step 2. So this is step 1. All right, I'm going to hit enter. And technically, this line is going to be my step 2. All right. Now, observe carefully. You want to see loose coupling, na? Just change it over here to edge driver. Edge driver. Why it's not popping up? Now it's going to work. Let's save it. Let's click on the play button. Observe carefully. Is the Edge browser. On the Edge browser, you are loading your Yatra.com website. What changed over here? Only the object type. Rest all the code remains the same. So the maintenance is pretty low over here. Okay. But I want to do it on Chrome. All right. Now, the next thing which I want to do over here, na guys, it would be great that this particular Chrome browser is in full mode, the maximize mode. Okay. So I want to click over here technically, and this is what I want to see. So how to do that? If you want to maximize the spelling is wrong. Maximize the browser window. Okay, what are you gonna say? wd.manage.window.maximize. wd.manage.window.maximize. You know what this is called? This is method chaining. Okay. WD has a method called manage. This particular manage method is calling another method which is called window, and window is calling another method which is called as maximize, and you're going to put a semicolon. This is method chaining. All right. And this is something which is very useful. So there's a rule also that whenever you are creating a method now in your application, it's always better to have some kind of a return type. All right. So if you are going to have return types, like methods are returning some data, you technically can chain them. That's for some other class. But technically in Java, I've already discussed that. One of the, like technically a bad keyword in Java is void. All right. Why void? Because void does not return anything. Okay. This is what you call is method calling. This is method call, right? This method is getting called. Then this particular method is calling another method. Whatever it is getting back, it is calling something else. Then this is calling something else. So whenever you have a method, you're creating a method, it's always better that that particular method returns something. All right. Main cannot return anything because main is the first and the last method which is getting called. So main is a lonely guy. Like technically, whom should main call, right? Like who is going to, like that should the first method and the last method coming into picture. Main can never really return data to anyone. So that's actually one of a very good principle that you should remember, that methods should always return something. Your test methods, okay, generally when you're creating a test method in your framework, test methods also don't return anything. But apart from that, if you're going to have any kind of a utility or something, it's always better that you return something, just something that you remember. All right, now let's save this particular chap. Let's click on the play button, guys. And if I do this, what is happening is voila. Okay, the browser is getting maximized for us. Now, one thing which is really, really irritating is this chap, right? This chap, Yatra.com wants to show notifications and all, right? So I want this particular option should not be shown. I want to disable this kind of notifications. So how to do that? Because in interview, they can ask this particular question. How do you disable notification? How to disable notifications option in WebDriver. How to do this thing? Simple, straightforward. Let's close this. Let's go back to the code. Okay. Now, whenever you want to disable notifications and all, that is the job of something which is called as Chrome options. Now, observe what is Chrome options. Chrome options is a class. Okay, technically it is used to manage your Chrome driver, how it is supposed to behave. That's what is going to be written over here. Class to manage options specific to Chrome driver. So if I want to manage how the Chrome driver needs to behave, what it needs to do and all, Chrome options is your guide. So I'm going to say Chrome options, it's a class. What do you do of a class? What do you do of a class? You're going to create an object. I'm going to say Chrome options equal to new Chrome options. It's a class. You create an object, right? Chrome options equal to new Chrome options. And to this particular Chrome options, I'm going to add arguments. So you can pass list of argument, you can pass string argument and all. I just want to pass string over here, right? Observe what I'm writing over here. This is important. I'm going to say double hyphen disable hyphen notifications. Read it, disable notifications. So we are setting up a rule that, hey, disable the notifications. So you are going to create a Chrome options object. Okay. To the Chrome options object, you're going to add an argument, disable hyphen notifications. Take this particular Chrome options reference and you pass it to your Chrome driver. Save it. Save it. All right. Let's click on the play button and observe. What do you observe? Yes. Are you able to see that particular notification pop up now? Observe. Here I have it. This is the old session. I can close this guy now. But in the new session, I don't have it. Let's close this one. All right. Let's save it. Let's click on the play button one more time. Okay. You might think I'm doing cheating. Okay. You see, a pop-up is also coming. Sometimes this particular login pop-up is coming. Sometimes it is not coming. But the thing over here, guys, the notification pop-up that used to get over here, that is not coming now. Are you getting the point? Right? So we will handle this login pop-up after some time, but this is the state right now. I hope you have understood all the code which I have written so far. Okay? Have you understood this part? Perfect. Now what I want you guys to do now is whatever the code that I have written, I want you guys to write it again without looking into the video. So what we are going to do is, okay, we're going to write it together, delete it off, okay, delete the script, okay, and I want you guys to explain the code to yourself. That is the first thing, all right. While explaining the code, you start writing it off. This is very important. The thing what is happens over here now is a lot of time people just copy paste. They're watching a YouTube video, they start writing it off, and after some time, if I tell you guys to explain me the code, they don't know what they have written. Are you getting the point? And this actually creates a lot of problem during your interviews, because if you're not able to articulate your thoughts properly, you're not going to be able to crack any interviews. Are you getting the point? So start writing the code by yourself. I'm giving you 5 minutes. Quickly write it down, okay, by yourself. All right, I hope you were able to write the code by yourself. Okay, should I write it? Let me write it off again one more time. WebDriver WD equal to new Chrome driver. All right, new Chrome driver. This particular line is technically just going to launch the browser, launch the Chrome browser for us. The next important thing over here, guys, is Chrome driver is basically the child class and WebDriver is the parent entity. We generally create the reference type as parent entity and the object is always getting created of the child class because it offers me loose coupling. In future, if I want to change the object, like I want to launch a different browser, I'm just supposed to change the object type. Rest all the code can remain the same. All right, that's the reason we write it WebDriver WD is equal to new Chrome driver. Then I can simply say wd.get get to or technically load this particular website for us, https://www.yatra.com. The next thing is I'm supposed to maximize that particular browser also. So I'm going to say wd.manage.array. It's not liking me, I guess. .window.maximize. All right. So if I'm going to click on save, let's click on the play button. You will notice website is getting loaded. Okay. It's getting maximized also. But over here, I have this notification. This notification needs to be disabled. How to disable notifications in your Selenium WebDriver? Chrome options. So Chrome options is basically a class. You're going to create an object of this particular class. All right. And you are going to pass an argument. Okay, so you're going to say add arguments. What is the argument you're going to add over here? I'm simply going to say double hyphen disable hyphen notification S notifications coming into picture. All right. You're going to take this particular Chrome options and you're going to pass it to your Chrome driver, save it, click on the play button and 1, 2, 3, done. You're not able to see this notifications pop up. All right. Now let's close this particular chap and let's go back to our main script over here. Now, the main thing, guys. Over here, what we want is we want to click on this departure date. But before we do that, you also need to remember that in between the running of your scripts, you are going to find that login pop-up coming into picture. Okay. So that login pop-up needs to be handled. Are you getting the point? Right now, we are not able to see it. We are not worried about that login pop-up as of now. But there is going to be that pop-up which is going to make our script flaky. So we are supposed to handle it and we're going to handle it at the end of this particular class. Don't worry on that part. We're going to do that also. So over here, right now, we are not able to see that particular pop-up. I'm happy. So my first instinct is I want to click on this particular departure date button. I don't know whether it is a button, what it is. We are supposed to find something about this chap. The locator we are supposed to find. So what we are going to do, guys, is we are going to click on this departure date. You're going to right click over here. Okay. Do you see this option called inspect? Inspect. Click over here. Again, you go to the departure date, right click over here, click on inspect. It brings and highlights this particular class. Okay, this particular element for us, div class CSS-W7K250. Now, guys, if you see this particular element now, div class CSS-W7K250, this particular element, this particular attribute which you are able to see, okay, this is what you call as an attribute. Attribute means something extra about the element. In your English grammar, we said adjective. So I have an element called div. Okay, I have something which is called as a div element. This div element has a special property and that property is class, and class has a value CSS-W7K250. Now these properties, whenever you see something like this, CSS hyphen some alphanumeric number coming into picture, this is not something which is going to be constant. Okay, no, this is not constant. It is dynamic. It is auto-generated. Okay, so you can't rely on something which keeps on changing. So right now, the Chrome browser, okay, and when we clicked on the inspect, it is telling me that you're supposed to click on this tab. But the thing is, when I'm looking at this particular class attribute, it is not something which is constant. It is auto-generated. So you cannot use this particular locator. Now, what is a locator? Understand this part. You have eyes, na? What is the purpose of eyes? To see things, right? So you have everyone, okay, humans have two eyes. Some people are lucky, they have four eyes. They wear glasses also, right? Bad joke. So the thing is, the purpose of locator is to locate things. Selenium WebDriver is like a spider. That's the reason it's called WebDriver also. Okay, pun intended. So the thing is, it has 8 type of locators because spider also has 8 eyes. Okay, hopefully, I think so. Now, the main thing that comes over here, guys, is the purpose of locators in your Selenium WebDriver is to help Selenium see things, whether a particular element, whether a particular button, a text box is present on the screen or not. Are you getting the point? What is the purpose of a locator? Now, if something which is variable, okay, can I really rely on that kind of a locator? For example, um, in a class, in a class, let's say the attendance sometimes happens with roll number, sometimes it is happening with name, sometimes it is happening with surname, sometimes it is happening with first name, sometimes it is happening on the count of the gender, okay? And like there is always something which keeps on changing. So in this way, it is going to be very difficult to locate a particular student because the way the counting and the searching is happening is a little bit different, right? So we cannot rely on something which keeps on changing. So our job over here is to find a locator. Yeah, our job over here is to find a locator which doesn't change, which remains constant, and that is the whole purpose. Okay, whenever you're working with your UI test or UI automation, the first thing is to find a locator which does not change. Now, how to do that? You need to have, like good instincts. Now, I can definitely say that class CSS-W7K250 is not the guy I'm looking for. I go a little bit up. MUI box root. Really can't rely on this chap because this CSS-O. Then I'm going to go a little bit up. I'm able to see this label, departure date input box. This is something which looks more human readable. Departure date input box. So this is something which I feel will not be changed. Okay, it's a proper English word. The label is departure date input box. But over here, this is a div. In reality, whenever you have web elements, right, clicking on a div is technically not that easy. You only click on a button. I was expecting that this particular chap would be a button. But over here, this is a label. But observe carefully. It has a role also. And that role is of button. So this entire script has been created in a way, the entire UI code has been written in a way that this div is actually going to act as a button. And this is the guy that we are looking for. This is the guy we are actually looking for. So we are supposed to find this particular element. How to find the element? We need to have the locator. There is a class, there is a role, there is this label. So the locator strategy that I'm going to use over here is going to be XPath. Okay, is going to be XPath. So how to write an XPath? Observe carefully. You're going to press Control F. Over here, click on the element. Okay, press Control F. What is? Let me just zoom a little bit for you guys. All right, this is the chap. All right, that we're looking for. me ask you something. If I ask you, tell me the element, okay? What is the element type? You see this particular div? Div is the element type. Div is the element type. Now, over here, we are supposed to write an XPath. How did I get this particular option? Let's close this. You just select the element and you press Ctrl F. This particular text area will be opened. Find by string. Find by string, find by selector or XPath. We are going with XPath. Now I am telling the Chrome browser over here that I'm going to use an XPath, and the XPath over here should be a relative XPath. Relative basically starts with 2/. What does relative means? Relative means that I know a rough idea. Rough idea. So 2/, which you see now, we read it like this. The 2/, you read it like this. Find anywhere on the page. Find anywhere on the page. What? Observe carefully. You're going to say, read it out loud. Find anywhere on the page. What do you want to find anywhere on the page? I want to find a div. Observe how many divs you got. You got 576 divs. So on this particular page, there are 576 divs. Are you looking for all those 576 divs? No. I am looking for a div, which is this guy, right? Let me just bring this guy a little bit exactly on the same place. A little bit up, a little bit down, down. This is the guy we're looking for. No, no. This is the guy we're looking for. Okay? You're looking for this particular div. So every div is going to have some special attribute. What is so special about this particular div? The speciality of this particular div is ki baba, it has a label, departure, date, input box. You want to copy this particular property. Copy it off. I hope you have done this. Then what you're going to do is you are going to put a square bracket over here. Let me remove this drawing for a moment. So I have put over here a square bracket. So we are saying find anywhere on the page a div that has a property, has an attribute. This @ sign basically stands for attribute. Attribute what? It should have the attribute as label hyphen departure date input box. Label should have the value departure date input box, and you close this particular square bracket. How many divs I am able to find over here? One of one. Okay. So whenever you are locating a particular element, the goal is to reach over here, one of one. So how to read this particular stuff? Understand this part carefully. We are reading it. The 2/, basically means find anywhere on the page, help me find anywhere on the page a div that, the square bracket means that contains an attribute called label equal to, and what will be the value of the label? Departure date input box, close it off. Write this particular XPath, okay, on your yatra.com. You know how to search it, now? Quickly do this thing at your end. Now, one more interesting thing I'm going to teach you about XPath, guys. See, here we are telling that we have a div, okay? Find anywhere on the page a div that contains an attribute, your label, departure date input box. If I want to do a combination that I should be able to find a div that have multiple attributes, then how can I do that? You can use AND. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this particular drawing for a moment, and let's say I want to find a div that contains a label departure date input box. Along with that, it should have a role equal to button. So how are you going to do that? You're going to give a little bit of space. You're going to say and @role equal to button. All right. Now, This particular XPath is going to only work when you are going to have a div that contains two attribute. It should have two attribute: label, departure date input box, value of the label should be departure date input box, and role should be button. If both these attributes are there, only then I'm going to get one of one, or I'm going to get that particular element. If let's say the button ID that I'm looking is 123, it is not going to work, because you're using AND over here. The value for your role attribute and label attribute both should match. If you are going to have, let's say, at least one should match, you can directly write over here OR. All right. But I'm going to go with AND over here. All right. Quickly write this thing at your end. Introduce, okay, the AND at the rate role equal to button. Is this part clear to everyone? So this is the X path which I'm selecting. Of course, I can use the first part itself, but I'm using AND also so that you guys get comfortable using multiple attributes in your X path. Is this part clear? Copy this particular X path properly, guys. We got our X path. We are supposed to click on this particular departure date. What we need to do, guys, is we will be telling Selenium WebDriver that we are supposed to use the XPath locator. Now, if I ask you, what is the data type of a locator? What are you going to say? If this was an interview question, if someone asks you this particular question, what is the data type of your locator in Selenium WebDriver? What are you going to say? Yes? So, in Selenium WebDriver, locators are generally handled by a special class called by class. By. All right? You write by.xpath now. Now, another thing in interview, they can always ask this particular question is, why don't you create an object of by class? Okay? Why don't you create an object of by class? Because by is a class, so generally I should write by. All right. So if you notice carefully, by is a class which has less a written over here. It's a class C and there's a written over here. It's an abstract class. You don't create object of your abstract class, right? So over here, if I want to access the methods of the by class, then how I'm going to do that? Let's go to the by class for a moment. And you will notice that by class has all the methods which are static in nature. You have this ID method, okay, which is of static type. You have link text, which is a static method. You have a partial link text, which is again a static method. Name, static method. Tag name, static method. XPath, static method. Class name, static method. CSS selector, static method. Hey, ID, name, CSS, XPath, link text, partial link text, tag name. What are these? You call them the locators, right? So in your Selenium WebDriver, locators are technically of by type. Whatever the locators you're talking about, ID name, CSS, XPath, link text, partial link text, tag name, okay, these are all methods. And what is the type of this particular method? The type of this particular method is static. Now, if you're going to have a static method, do you create an object? If you have a static method, do you create an object? The answer is no, we don't create methods. Like in order to access the methods which are static, you don't need to create an object, right? So the same thing happens over here. I'm going to say by.xpath. By is the class, xpath is the method, and the xpath is this. All right. Now, pure Java concept. I'm going to bring my cursor to XPath. What do you notice? This is a public static method and I see this by keyword popping up over here. So over here, by is the return type. It returns a by which locates the element via XPath. So XPath method returns me by kind of data. So if you're going to get a by kind of a data, the data type of the variable over here is also going to be by, and you're going to write it like this. By, this is departure date locator. All right, this is what it is. Now, sometimes, like people ask me question, Are Jatin, why do you write like this, by.xpath? You could have written wd.findelement by.xpath and put everything over there, right? But the thing over here, guys, is most of the people just do rote learning. They just copy what other person have written. They really don't know what exactly is the purpose of by xpath also. They don't even know that, like xpath is a method and it is a static method. Why you are not creating an object of by class? They don't even know that this is an abstract class and you don't need to create an object of abstract class. Then how do I access the method? The methods are static over here. Are you getting the point? So these things, right, only happens when you write things in a certain way. Don't mug things up. All right. 90% of the stuff which, like people study online or offline, they are just doing rote learning. What the instructor has written, they just follow that stuff. They don't really use the brain also. So please make sure you understand how the code has been written. Are you getting the point? When you are looking at this particular code, your first thing should be, okay, understanding what exactly it is. I am accessing something with the help of class name. XPath has to be a static method. XPath returns me by kind of a data. What is by? By is taking care of locators in your Selenium WebDriver. That's the reason the name of this particular variable is going to be departure date locator. Anytime I'm going to create a variable which is going to be of by type, it is always going to have a suffix. Suffix means something that comes at the end, okay, called locator over here. Please make a note of this particular point quickly. So, the moral of the story is by is the abstract class, XPath is the static method, and XPath returns me by kind of data. The return type of XPath method is by. What is by? By is going to take care of the locator, okay, in your Selenium WebDriver. This is the data type of your locator in Selenium WebDriver. So, over here, this is the XPath of departure date input box. Look carefully. The name of the variable is departure date locator. I could have given a little bit better name. I could have called it button. Okay, departure date button locator. And what do we want to do? We got the locator. Okay, that this is a button which I'm supposed to click on. So I'm going to say wd dot find element, find the element by. You see, it is asking me by type. Did I create a by kind of a variable, right? So if I'm going to click over here, you see automatically the suggestion comes over here, departure date locator. Click over here, put a semicolon. You know what exactly find element returns us. Yes. What does find element returns us? It is going to return me web element. It is going to return me web element. So this is going to be web element departure date button. All right. Now, let me just import this particular stuff quickly. Done. All right. If you have not written the code, please quickly write it down at your end. Quickly write it down. Make the notes also what exactly by is. What does find element return us? Okay. Find element. Let me just delete this thing. Find element is going to return me web element, and on this particular web element I am going to perform the click operation. All right, quickly make a note of this particular stuff. Now the final thing, take this stuff, you're going to say departure button dot click. All right, departure button dot click, because you want to click on that particular button. So that's what we have written so far. Let's save this particular file. Let's click on the play button. Let's observe. Works, right? It works. Let's close this. Save it. Let's click on the play button one more time. Works. Perfect. One more time. Works. Perfect. Great. Now, luckily, we are not getting the pop-up of your login modal, right? So that is a good thing for us for this particular lecture. But if you're getting a modal right now, you just close it, because technically you know that your test is not going to work. Your script is not going to work because there is a pop-up, and first you need to close that particular pop-up, and then only it will be able to interact with this departure date button. Now, over here, guys, what we want is we want to make the script little bit synchronized. All right. Before we go ahead, this is really important. Okay. Whenever you are writing scripts, you're not supposed to use wd.findElement. Please make a note of this particular point. What I'm saying is, you see this findElement method? This findElement method, guys, is technically the main reason for your flaky test or flaky scripts. We have not writing a test over here, so let's call it a flaky script. So like, Jatin, everyone writes findElement, then why are you telling that you're not supposed to use findElement? I can't really explain on that part. The main thing is, if you really want that your scripts are non-flaky, your scripts are synchronized, then, my dear friends, you are supposed to use something which is called as WebDriver wait. In interview, they can ask the question, how do you ensure that your scripts are non-flaky slash, like synchronized? How do you ensure that your test scripts, your Selenium scripts are non-flaky and technically they are synchronized? How you're going to do that? The answer to this particular question is WebDriver wait. The answer to this particular question is WebDriver wait. So how you're supposed to use WebDriver wait, guys? Okay. Observe carefully. I'm going to give you time. WebDriver wait is a class. Okay. WebDriver wait is a class. All right. What do you do of a class? You create an object. So I'm going to call this WebDriver wait. That's the reference variable equal to new WebDriver wait. And the constructor of WebDriver wait requires two things. The first thing it requires is the WebDriver reference. This is the WD. Automatically the suggestion is popping up over here. The second thing it requires is duration. How long should your scripts, your WebDriver needs to wait? So over here, we're going to have a duration dot of duration. Okay, if I just going to say press space, you see duration is a class which has lot of static methods. One of the static method is going to be duration of seconds. And the seconds over here, I'm going to put as like probably 20 seconds. That's it. So now we created a wait which is going to let Selenium WebDriver wait for 20 seconds. All right. The maximum waiting time. The maximum waiting time. So Selenium WebDriver is going to wait for 20 seconds, okay, for a particular element to come on the screen. And then it is going to perform the operation. But it is not like your thread.sleep that you're putting a 20-second, like sleep over there. It's a little bit different. What you are going to do, guys, is you're not going to write it like this. We are supposed to use it like this. Wait dot until, and over here we have a specialty called expected conditions. Expected conditions. So I'm going to say expected conditions dot element to be clickable. Element to be clickable. Okay. By locator. Do you have the by locator? We created the departure date button locator. Now you're going to use that. Automatically it is coming over here in suggestion. Now what exactly this wait until expected conditions element to be clickable? What it is giving me? It is giving me this only. Now you're like, Jatin, what is the difference between two lines? Here you are writing wt.find element. Here you are writing wait until expected conditions, element to be clickable, departure date button locator. What is the difference between these two lines over here, guys? The difference is this chap over here is non-synchronized. Okay. So if your element is taking a little bit time to come into picture, okay, you might get an exception, element not found exception. In order to handle that, you guys might put thread.sleep, right? But over here, because we are using wait.until, it is synchronized. It is going to wait for that particular element to not only appear on the screen, but also be available for clicking, element to be clickable. So it is more event driven first. Now over here I have written 20 seconds, duration of 20 seconds. So over here, let's say this is 0 all the way till 20. Now what is going to happen? It's not going to wait for 20 seconds and after 20 seconds it is going to perform the click. No, this is the maximum duration. The maximum duration your WebDriver is going to wait for the element to be clickable. Now, let's say your browser has been launched, page has been loaded. Selenium WebDriver or your WebDriver wait is going to check after 500 milliseconds, okay, whether the element is in clickable state or not. If it is not, it is going to wait. After some time, again it is going to check after 500 milliseconds. Array, is the element clickable or not? Yes, the element is clickable. So how much time it waited? 1 second. Alright. Probably you are having some internet issue. So first 500 millisecond, the element is not clickable. Again, after second time it is searching, the element is not clickable. Third time it is going to check. Fourth time it is going to check. So probably after 2 seconds, the element is clickable. Alright. So over here what is happening is we are not hard coding that you're supposed to wait for 20 seconds. In between, if the element becomes clickable, it is going to perform the click. Are you getting the part? So this is what you call as polling. It is going to poll after 500 milliseconds. This is the default value. I can change it. But this is something that you're supposed to remember. The default polling time is 500 milliseconds. After every half second, it is going to check whether the element is clickable or not. So this way, your script is a little bit more synchronized. Makes sense to everyone? Perfect. All right. So let's delete this particular drawing now. Let's close this. Let's click on the play button for a moment. And you see now my test is going to fail. Why? Because there is a pop-up coming into picture. And if I go back over here, voila. You see? It is not able to find that particular element. Why? Because there is something else available on the screen. Okay. So, over here guys, we are supposed to handle this particular pop-up. We will handle it. Don't worry. Let's close this particular chap right now. Let's click on play button one more time. You see, it worked. Are you getting the point? So, the first task, which was to click on the calendar button, has been done by us. Alright. Now, let's go back to our code for a moment, because it's always better that you optimize your code a little bit. First, we did the Chrome option setup. We had the WebDriver. We passed the Chrome options. wd.get. We launched the Yatra.com website. We maximized the browser. We had the locator coming into picture. And we have the WebDriver wait. Now, this particular line, WebDriver wait, now you just cut it off and you put it after your Chrome driver initialization or instantiation, but the right word is instantiation. So over here guys, you just write synchronizing the WebDriver. And what is the purpose of it? It is going to help me with handling flakiness in our script. Are you getting the stuff? This is what you call as an explicit wait also. Okay. So just make a note of this particular point. This is your explicit wait. All right. Let's go ahead. Can I quickly write this particular code? If you have not written, guys, I'm giving you exactly 2 minutes. All right. Quickly write this particular code at your end. All right, I hope you have written this particular script now. Let's continue. Let's fix these extra spaces now. Now let's go ahead. The click has happened. Now our main goal is that I am interested in this particular section. Which section? I am interested in the month of June. This guy I am interested in. All right. And I want to know the price of all the dates. Okay. What is the price for the flight on probably 24th, 25th and all. Okay. All those things I want to know right now. From 23rd, 24th and all. Okay. So all those things I want to know. So how to do that? The first thing, guys, observe carefully. You're going to right click. Let me just close this particular ad. Right click on the June 2025 or whatever the month you're seeing over here. Right click over here, click on inspect. Let me just close this particular drawing also. All right. Right click over here, click on inspect. We have this particular June 2025. I'm not interested in that. I am interested in little bit up. Not interested in this. Little bit up. Not here. Okay. Little bit up more. This is where I'm interested in. I am interested in the whole section of June 2025. I'm not going to pick up a particular date right now. I'm going to pick up the entire section itself. Are you getting the point? Okay, a very important, interesting concept is going to come in front of you, which is called this chaining of web elements. So observe it carefully now. So over here, guys, I am interested in this div class. Okay, and this is React date picker underscore month container. This is what I'm interested in. Are you getting the point? Let's write the XPath for this particular chap. You're going to double click on it. Okay. It's going to highlight the entire stuff. Class underscore react hyphen date picker underscore month container. Copy it off. You're going to do a control F. All right. You see automatically it has filled this thing over here for me. The remaining thing I can easily write it down. 2/div. Find anywhere on the page a div that contains an attribute called class, which has the value react hyphen date picker underscore month hyphen container. Close this thing. Now, what do you guys notice over here, guys? How many elements I'm getting over here? You see, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So, let me make it very clear for you guys. When I'm using this particular XPath, I am getting 2 web elements. With this particular locator, I'm going to get 2 web elements. The first one is going to be the current month, whatever it is. Okay. And the next one is going to be the next month. Are you getting the point? So we get 2 things, current month and next month. So observe carefully. Over here, current month, next month. Current month, next month coming into picture. Quickly write this particular XPath. Observe it by yourself. Okay. Also, learn how to read it out. You are saying, find anywhere on the page a div that contains an attribute called class, and the value of the class should be react hyphen date picker underscore month hyphen container. All right. With this particular locator, I'm going to get 2 web elements. So if I'm going to try to do find element, okay, I'm getting 2 web elements. I'm interested in both because the question says that you need what? The price for the current month, the next month, all the stuff. So we're going to use this particular locator only. I'm going to copy this particular locator, your XPath, for my bad, and I'm going to come back over here. Observe what I'm doing. I'm going to say by calendar month locator, okay, equal to by dot XPath and paste it over here. calendar month locator, okay, and this is the XPath, right? Now what we want over here, guys, observe. I'm going to say wait dot until. Let me first write it with wd.findElement because most of you guys might be a little bit familiar with that. With this particular locator, I can get two web elements. So I'm going to say wd.findElements, calendar month locator. When you're using find elements, with the help of find elements, what do you get? Yes, with the help of find elements, what do you get? You get list of web elements. List is what? Collection. All right. So, over here, my dear friends, if you bring your cursor to find elements itself, let me just bring this guy a little bit up so that you can see it properly. Find elements. Find elements returns me list of web element. Copy this, put it off over here. And I'm going to say that this is calendar months. Technically, I should put S over here so that readability is better. Calendar months locator. And here also I'm going to paste it off so that you can understand that with this particular locator, you are not getting 1 month, you're getting 2 months. All right. So calendar months web element. That's what I'm going to call it. And the main thing now, guys, is observe. Let's remove this, fix it. Hit enter a little bit so you can see it properly. You're going to say system.out.println calendar months where element dot, okay, size dot size. So it's getting me the list. So if I'm getting 2 months, current and next, the size should be 2. Let's click on play. Observe. Let's go back to our script now. Let's bring this a little bit up. Size is 2. So over here, we are getting 2 months, current and next, and we are at least one step closer. Quickly write this particular script at your end.
Firstly, thank you so much for watching the video so far, guys. It really means a lot to me, and I really hope whatever the solution that we have built so far, you're crystal clear with all the concepts, how I have written the code, you're understanding the entire logic. If you're really interested in the second part of this particular video, you should definitely check out the YouTube Tech with Jatin membership. For a price less than 100 rupees a month, you are going to get detailed explanation videos like this without any ads. Along with that, whatever are the important interview questions which students and professionals have faced, you're definitely going to find it over there. Along with that, if you want me to cover any important interview question, you can just directly comment it off in any of the videos. And if you are a member, those questions will be taken as a higher priority. So if you are really serious about your SDET interview preparation, you should definitely join this particular membership because I think it's going to give you a way better ROI. So I hope to see you guys over there. And now I'm going to see you guys in some other videos. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.